Good morning, class. I hope that your first day or first set of lessons has gone well and that you remembered what we have learned in our class. It's more practice with subject-verb agreement, and we're going to learn a little bit more about that today. But first, before we do that, I'd like to do a little bit of a review and make sure that your work yesterday went well. This is page 147 from your assignment yesterday. We're going to go over a couple of them, the first three, and make sure that you remember how to do it. And you can go back and make corrections as needed. First, let's look at the instructions. Cross out any prepositional phrases. Don't skip this. Make sure that you do it because it helps us to know where we're going to find the subject and the verb, okay? Then we're going to underline the subject once and the verb twice, okay? Let's look at our example. Here we have a girl in the first seat, player plays a clarinet. Well, we have a prepositional phrase first, so we're going to cross that out. So we know that our subject and our verb cannot be in that prepositional phrase. Our subject is girl. Girl is singular. It's only one girl. That means our subject will be plays. When we have a plural subject, our verb will have an S at the end. Okay? When you have a singular subject, it will have an S at the end. Sorry. When you have a plural subject, that means more than one, it will not have an S at the end, so it would be play. If this would have said girls, this would have been the girls in the first seat play a clarinet. But since it says a girl in the first seat, we say plays. Okay? Now let's move on. We're going to do 1, 2, and 3, and then we'll move on to our work for today on page 151. Okay? The sky seems or seem cloudy. Are there any prepositional phrases in this sentence? No, there are not any prepositional phrases in this sentence. So we can go directly and look for our subject. Sky would be our subject. And there's only one sky, so it is singular. Sky seems or seem cloudy. Because it's singular, we choose the verb with the S. The sky seems cloudy. Okay? Number 2. Those twins dance or dances at a studio. Are there any prepositional phrases here? Yes, there are. At a studio, we're going to cross that out, get rid of it. Okay? Now we need to look for our subject. Our subject is twins. Is this singular or plural? This is plural. There's more than one. So that means that we will choose the verb without the S at the end. Those twins dance at a studio. Okay? Let's move on to number 3. I enjoy all sports but soccer. Are there any prepositional phrases here? Yes, there are. But soccer. Let's get rid of that. We don't need it. Okay? What is our subject? Our subject is I. I is obviously singular. So we would choose the verb with the S at the end, enjoys. I'm sorry. It's not the verb with the S at the end because I is a personal pronoun and we would choose enjoy. I'm sorry about that. I enjoy all sports but soccer. Remember, this was one of our exceptions. Mrs. Guzman may not be awake this morning, but that's okay. We're going to make it through. We're going to make it just like the real class, and I do this all the time, don't I? Okay. Remember to pay attention. Personal pronouns like this, we would use enjoy. Okay? All right. So now let's move on to today's work. I'm going to scroll through this quickly. I just have a couple of things that I want to point out on this page. You do not have this page. I have this page only. But I just want to kind of point out a couple of things so that as we do page 151, you have these things in your mind and you can remember If you need to come back to this later, you can just come back and pause and see what you need to see and then remember for your lesson, okay? All right. Now, we're going to start talking about tenses again. We're going to talk about past, present, and future. Okay, first we're going to talk about present. When we say tense, tense means time. Okay? Tense means time. So present tense, of course, signifies present time, right now, today. Although present can mean at this moment, it is easier to use today as a point of reference, okay? So present tense never has a helping verb or an auxiliary verb. This is what you need to remember. It never has a helping verb, okay? If you can remember that, that's going to help you in our lesson for today. My mom is going to the mall, okay? This sentence cannot be present, although it sounds like it. The helping verb is makes the verb phrase is going. The verb phrase is going is actually a separate tense called the progressive tense. So we're not looking at that right now. Obviously, we're not learning progressive tense. We are learning present, past, and future. Okay? So this helping verb right here tells us that this verb cannot be present tense. Okay? To form the present tense, remove to from the infinity. We have to run right here and to need. Okay? If the subject is singular, add s to the verb. Sometimes you have to add an es, okay? A groundhog runs. Okay? A groundhog runs. It's a singular subject. Okay? Runs would get the s. Okay? To need. Take out the to. Okay? The fireplace needs to be clean. It's just one fireplace, so we use the s. If the subject is you, I, or is plural, more than one, simply remove the to from the infinitive and we don't add the s. And that is where I messed up on number 3 on the other page. I wasn't paying attention that the I was used, okay? His dogs chew. That's more than one dog, so we take away the s. I chew. It is using an I, so we take off the s. You chew. It is a you, so we take off the s. Okay? Remember that present tense never has a helping verb. Okay? So if you see a helping verb, it cannot be present tense. Okay? Past tense. Past tense indicates that which has happened. It's already in the past. It's done. Although past can mean a second ago, it's easier to use the term yesterday. Okay? Past tense also never has a helping verb. Okay? So present tense never has a helping verb, and past tense never has a helping verb. Okay? Let's go to the next page. Okay? He has lost his jacket. That is a helping verb. This cannot be past tense because it has a helping verb. This is actually a separate sense called the perfect tense. Okay? And we're not learning that today, so we don't need to worry about that. But you do need to know that it has a helping verb, so it is not past tense. Okay? To form the past tense, there are 2 rules. Okay? To form the past tense of a regular verb, add ed to the verb. To remain becomes remained. To practice becomes practiced. To form the past tense of an irregular verb, which means we don't simply just add ed to make it an irregular verb. You change the verb to its appropriate form. And remember, we learned about these irregular verbs before. You should have your list of irregular verbs. So to begin becomes began. To swear becomes swore. Okay? So that's how we're going to pay attention to our past tense verbs. Future tense indicates time yet to happen. It means it hasn't happened yet, but it's going to. There are two helping verbs that indicate future tense, shall and will. Okay? Although future may be at any time yet to occur, using tomorrow helps us understand it, okay? Future tense contains the helping verbs will or shall. Okay, so past tense and present tense do not use helping verbs. However, future tense uses helping verbs will or shall. Okay? I shall answer your question in a minute. You could just as easily put the word will there and it works as well. Okay? I shall answer. This is future tense. The repairman will come. Will you please play this game? Will play is your future tense verb. Okay? All right. Remember, if it's a question, always look at the beginning of the sentence for a helping verb. Okay? All right. Let's move on to page 151. We're going to do the first set of 3 right here, and then I'm going to leave you to do the rest on your own. Okay? All right, here we go. Cross out any prepositional phrases. Underline the subject once and the verb or verb phrase twice. Then we're going to write present, past, or future in the space provided to indicate tense. Okay? All right, here we go. Terry roller skates to his friend's house. Okay, do we have any prepositional phrases in this sentence? Yes, we do. To his friend's house. So we're going to cross that out. Okay? What is our subject? Our subject is Terry. And what is Terry doing? He roller skates. Okay, is this past, present, or future verb? It is a present tense. Because Terry is roller skating right now. So we're going to write present. Okay, the next one. Terry roller skated with his sister. Is there a prepositional phrase in this sentence? Yes, there is. With his sister, so we cross that out. The subject is Terry, and what did he do? He roller skated. We have an ed here at the end of our verb, which tells us that it is what tense? It is past tense. So our verb here is past tense. Tonight, Terry will roller skate around the park. Are there any prepositional phrases here? Yes, there are. Around the park. Tonight, Terry will roller skate around the park. Our subject is Terry, and our verb is will roller skate. That's our verb phrase. Since we have this helping verb here, we know that this is a future tense verb phrase. Okay? I want you to pay attention to this as you do the rest of your assignment today, and make sure that you pay attention to the things that make it present, past, or future. Okay, before we finish, I'd like to go to our spelling. We have lesson unit 15. That is our work for this week. Okay? Yes, this is our work for this week. Okay, so we're looking at tricky trailers is what they're calling it. Eyes, and eyes. Okay, so it's going to be important to know which one of these suffixes comes at the end of the word. Okay, Our first word here is baptize. Our second word is enterprise, then legalize, chastise, merchandise, compromise, paralyze, recognize, supervise, memorize, advertise, civilize, idolize, moralize, criticize, compromise or comprise, despise, devise, improvise, and analyze. This word right here, I said wrong initially. It's comprise, not compromise. That was over here. Okay? Your assignment for yesterday was to do lesson 2 right here, vocabulary and dictionary. Make sure you do that. And then for today, you're going to go ahead and do page 45, which is lesson 3. I'm going to be checking this to see if your answers are correct or incorrect and not just done. So make sure that you take your time and do your best. I hope you are enjoying your week. Do your best work, and I'll talk to you later.